Drew, walk us through the next 3 hours if I want to buy Spotify shares.
If you want to buy Spotify shares, you need to go on your broker exchange and place an order just like you would for any other stock. Although we might have to wait even longer than 3 hours to buy Spotify, this could take into the afternoon to match up the buyers with the sellers.
How do I pick a price?
Good question. I think that's the $25 billion question today, isn't it? People don't really know where this is going to trade, other than that it will probably trade independently from its fundamentals for at least some time. Is
there going to be the volume? Like, are people going to actually be selling?
Advisors for Spotify have been working for weeks now to try to gather up those sellers and build that volume momentum that we're going to need when the stock starts trading to prevent some type of liquidation squeeze that would send the stock price up, unrealistically.
Mike, what's interesting, obviously, about Spotify is that they're not going through a big bank. They're a direct listing, right? You like the banks, but what happens if all of a sudden guys are like, this is cool, we don't need to pay ginormous fees to Goldman?
Goldman and Morgan Stanley, who are involved in this, it looks to me, Drew, and you would know this better than I, it looks like they're doing a lot of work. They have been for a few months, like almost as much work as or more than if they were doing an actual IPO, because they had to go out there and talk to all of the owners of Spotify stock, correct?
Absolutely, and I think one difference about this versus the traditional IPO process is all of this is being done behind closed doors. This is even
they're doing more work.
Totally more work.
And they're getting paid a lot less.
Yes, that too.
That's not a good business model, Alex, to answer your question. So that price pressure on the investment bankers, for sure, no question about it. JP Morgan has a lot of other businesses.
For sure.
But there's no question that Jamie Dimon was prescient when he decided to set up an office in the past year of people to figure out how to disrupt JP Morgan's business. This is a disruptor.
But Drew, if I'm Mike and I want to invest in Spotify, not that he does necessarily, but I want to invite it, how do I do research? I mean, how many analysts are covering it at this point? I mean, what are the filings of the SEC? What do I look at to try to figure out what this company is and what it's likely to make?
Well, Spotify has filed a registration statement with the SEC, so you can go through and look at some of their user data and their risk factors and things like that. And there have been a few sell-side research analysts who have initiated research coverage. There are about 4 buy ratings right now, although the price targets, the 12-month price targets, very wide range. So we really don't know where it's going to trade, even if you do follow the advice of the bulls.